Welcome everyone to Plastic Cards Podcast, the show where we break down video game news of the week. My name is Fonzie. I'm joined by my co-host, indie game dev extraordinaire, Gavin Jones. Gavin, how are you?
Gavin's good. How was Fonzie?
Fonzie's good too. Big Papa Fonzie, or what did we say last week?
Papi Chulo?
Papi Chulo.
I probably shouldn't do the accent, but Papi Chulo.
Yeah, you're doing it nonstop off screen, but yeah. No.
Ranting about a wall? Something about a wall.
Yeah. Gotta take the country back. Yeah, been good. Just living life, playing a few games. It's launch week, so I'm super stoked, and you helped me earlier, or you got to see how I'm trying to navigate where I'm going to put the fucking PS5 in the first place.
I was just calling you dumb. That's all I was doing. Yeah. I was disagreeing.
I thought we could make a hole in the wall and just shove it in there. Something
My
like
penis?
That. No, the PS5 is what I'm
I know, you're getting a glory hole just for the PS5. That's seems like a bit much, but
That's how much I love this thing, Gavin.
each their own.
But I think I have a spot to put it, and I can't wait. So I got the notification that they actually charged my card, which I thankfully had enough money in there. And then just Saturday, Sunday, it shipped. So it's going to be here Thursday at some point on Thursday.
Oh, they mailed it straight to you?
Yeah. So this is from Sony. It's just coming straight from
Oh, you didn't get it from
Sony
a
Gods.
retailer then.
No, I didn't. And I've been reading a lot of people who pre-ordered through Target got their pre-orders canceled because I guess they just sold too many. And then with the Xbox Series X, Amazon is saying this is for some users. Amazon is saying that some people are going to get them late December just because of issues.
Late December. That
Yeah,
kinda
so
sucks.
they're kind of fucked. It's not everybody, but it's some people through Amazon. Yeah, thankfully I just got my pre-order through Sony, and it seems like everything's working. And I don't know if a guy hands it to me with like full PlayStation 5 get up, and he's coming in a future car or something like a DeLorean.
The Cybertruck.
Yeah, the Cybertruck. Whatever happened to that? Did they ever make it, or what's the deal?
That's an excellent question, because I'm fairly certain, though not certain at all, but I'm fairly certain like the turnaround on most vehicles is like your 2000, your 2001, your 2002, 2004, no 2005 because the world will be over by then
For sure.
But
yeah, I guess they had their press conference where Elon blew out the window on accident, but since then, and they had pre-orders which were like super cheap. I think you could pre-order for like $500 or whatever to get your place in line. But yeah, I don't know. I'm still waiting. But yeah, no. Besides getting ready for next gen, haven't been doing anything this week. What about you?
gaming, just I've been trying to keep my mind off the election because it's been a stressful one. That was
Because your buddy lost. I understand.
it's true. I don't.
What would you been playing to take your mind off of the politics game?
I have been playing. Aside from I ordered all the parts for the PC. Maybe that was last week.
You know what? Before, so I keep reading these articles, saying, of course, it's the worst time to get graphics cards right now. But AMD, who's maybe you were going to go through them with their new cards, they're saying they have even less stock than NVIDIA, and it's going to be really tough to get. They expect their cards to sell out in minutes too. So it's going to be rough. So I would say try and lock down a graphics card now, and then just because I think you're going to sit on it for a while before you can then you can resell it on eBay and stuff.
I have what did I buy? I bought it the other day.
Okay. Was it RTX thing?
No, it's not as good as yours.
I don't think you should be allowed the RTX stuff for all this shit you talked, but if I had my way, I would. Your Fisher Price graphics card if I could.
It was.
Are you going through a Newegg?
Asus GeForce RTX 2060.
Yeah.
It says overclocked. I don't know how I feel about that.
Yeah, I think there's some that are stock overclocked. Let's get me there. Okay, how many gigs of RAM? Are 6? I think the 2060s like start at 6 at least. Well, either way, it sounds like a good card, Kevin.
How many gigs of RAM?
That's serious.
6 gigs of GDDR6.
Yep. That's basically like the same card that I had the last time that I switched it out for a new.
It's probably identical, basically.
Yeah,
like
power wise. That's a good card. That's a great card.
Yeah, and like I said, I didn't want to spend that much money. I did see a Black Friday deal for a 160 Ti for $250 today, and I would be curious to see if a 260 Ti beats a 160 Ti beats a 260
Maybe, I guess, I mean, we could pull, you can just like side view the specs and see which one's better. But
Yeah.
I think the 660 might have less RAM, but I don't know. Yeah, I'm out of my ballpark with this stuff. Yeah, so what have you been playing as far as you said you've been trying to escape life?
Playing so there's a game I actually played this last week, but I forgot to bring it up. So pull this up. I think it's called Pumpkin Jack.
That sounds vaguely familiar.
Hell yeah, I'm Steven. Glad to have you.
Jack. Oh, this does look familiar. Okay.
Yeah, so it's like a mascot platformer style game. And that's kind of delightful in today's day and age to get one of these. That being said, this combat is not very fun.
Okay.
But although I heard from the reviews, if you can get past the not very fun combat, there's a lot of fun to have here. And I need to get back into it and give it another shot.
Gotcha.
But yeah, playing this, the presentation's fun. It's a good looking game. It also, as far as look, it does slightly remind me of some of those absolutely terrible games that would come free with a Mac.
Sure.
But despite the fact that I played the shit out of them, because it's all I had with my Mac back in the day. But yeah, it's not a terrible game. It's not great, but I don't regret spending money on it. Next is a game, Cosmocrats, which I'm gonna just hold that.
Who's right Cosmo there. Kramer? Cosmocrats. Gotcha.
Krauts.
Yeah. Krauts or Krats? I would say Cosmocrats. But you haven't...
Cosmo.
Okay, there's like no search
YouTube, you should be able to figure this out slightly.
You think, yeah, okay. So Cosmocrats, been playing that.
Yeah, they describe it as Space Tetris. But really, like, this trailer kind of got me. It's got a fun presentation to it, and basically you're just a Russian
spy.
I don't know how to describe it. You're these Russians in space, and you're building these space stations.
Okay.
And I'm gonna spoil it because I wouldn't recommend this game to anyone.
Gotcha.
But the presentation is cute. The presentation is really cute. The story was interesting. It's interesting in that it also branches, and I didn't know that going in. That being said, this gameplay is fucking terrible.
Gotcha. Let's see if I can scrub through and find.
Yeah.
Okay, so it is like Space Tetris. But what's terrible about it?
You're just shoving these space stations into each other.
So is there no repercussions or like, is there a time limit?
There's that time limit bar on the top is very strict.
Oh, okay.
But this is sort of a unique point in the game where as you're constructing this, mutual assured destruction has occurred.
Okay.
So everyone's launched their
Oh, you can see the nukes in the background.
Yeah, and that was a pretty cool moment. Yeah. Oh, that explains it.
So you're playing it wrong. So you just
mission before this, like, or a couple missions before that, they send like you have this facility to pick up recruits.
Yeah.
And they send you just way too many recruits. It's a mission you're designed to lose, but they're just sending you recruits nonstop. There's no way you can get them all. And it's like, who was in charge of that? Why did that happen? And so now I'm just realizing it's because they knew this was going to happen. So they just got out as many people
story-wise.
as they could.
Gotcha. Yeah. But you weren't very weren't on point or on board with the gameplay, rather.
This is not. Tell me how this is fun. Take one glimpse of this and say this is fun. Do you think it changes much from this? Because it doesn't.
Gotcha.
It's just more of this, but like the story was legit interesting.
Yeah, I guess I wonder what else they could add to keep the gameplay interesting. Maybe stuff trying to, like, little asteroids and whatnot trying to bother you the whole time.
They have these people like out doing a spacewalk that you have to try and not kill, but that's just annoying.
Okay.
Gotcha. You don't want to bump stuff too hard, which makes you play cautious, which makes the game less fun.
I see. How did you find this? Was it a trailer that got you on this one?
I go on Steam. I'll look at, like, so there's trending, there's top buys, and then there's new and upcoming, and this was on new and upcoming, and the trailer is really funny. So see, this kind of stuff is fantastic.
Yeah.
The way they present the story like this, it's well written.
Gotcha. This does look really cool. Like the cutscene part does look really cool.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
Good.
Except for the gameplay.
Except for the gameplay. Fucking terrible.
I just missed out on the gameplay. And then you're playing another one. It's also hard to spell.
I played a bunch of Hades.
Gotcha. How are you liking that? I think I asked you last couple weeks, and
I'm liking it more than ever. Now that it's 1.0, now that it's actually released, it's the best it's ever been. I still can't believe, like, I heard the other day, I don't think this is true, but I heard there's 14,000 voice lines.
oh boy.
It feels like it though.
Yeah.
Like there's just so much dialogue. Just every time you go through a mission, you continue the story a little bit, you talk with these people, you build your relationships. It's fucking neat.
It's not dialogue that would annoy you. Like it's done in a way that you want to actually listen to the cutscenes. You ever skipping through it?
It's all there's a few times I'll skip through, but it's because I read fast enough that I don't need the performance.
Gotcha.
But it's also like these dialogues are short enough that it doesn't drag on enough to be boring. So you're getting little snippets every time you die. You go back to, I don't know, the Court of Hades, we'll call it, and then you talk with everybody, and then you go back and do it, and you'll give people this nectar stuff that they appreciate you for, and it grows your relationship, and it's pretty neat. But it is very long. Like to do a run of this game, it feels like an hour and a half. So it is very long, and that's a bit more of a commitment than I like from my roguelites.
I see.
Also been playing Spelunky 2. I've been playing a lot more of that.
Okay, you
getting better. It's definitely one thing I've kind of heard from the pros, and I think is very, very true, is the first area of this game, which I still am not consistent in getting through. But unlike Spelunky 1, it takes a lot. This fucker kills me all the time. I just skip him now. I legit skip trying to beat him.
Oh, it's like a mini boss or something?
Oh, okay, you got it. He had the spring shoes. Yeah, like going through the initial world, this is the last level in the initial thing, takes a lot longer. You have to be a lot more careful that you don't get to skip ahead to all the other fun levels. But the other levels are also more brutal, so it's vastly more brutal than the original.
Now, I know when you initially played it, you were kind of, not negative, but it maybe a little bit sour on it.
I would say I was negative.
But that makes me think, do they have a responsibility to kind of explain that to the gamers that are coming from the last one, that, hey, this is different, here's why, so they stick through it? Or is it on the gamer to just keep playing it and get over that hump?
They straight up nerfed the starting area.
Oh, okay. So maybe give you a reason to keep playing, or to not make it as hard initially.
Yeah, they like even really. Oh fuck! Oh, you almost got your ass beat.
Yeah, I wonder the responsibility the dev has when it's a sequel, and they're changing the gameplay enough, because you love the first one. So at one point, do they have to really explain or kind of televise to the gamer, like, hey, this is different. Here's why. Here's how to get used to the new different stuff, and then so they don't turn them off or burn their experience from the get-go.
You can't really do that with Spelunky though, because Spelunky, one of the biggest things with Spelunky is that, like, it's this discovery, and it's hard and it's brutal, and you have your theories, and they're hard to test. Brutality has always been a big part of Spelunky, so they can't really do that. They can't get rid of that piece of its DNA.
So in that vein, they're still following the same core idea.
Yeah,
it was just more than you expected as far as the change goes.
Yeah, well, it's not more. This is the amount of oh fuck, that sucks. This wasn't even like last time where it was just a bad player. That was shitty. I would have died to that. But yeah, there's so much more content, which means there's so many more variables, and that's the biggest thing. Comparing this to basically any other roguelite I play out there, like especially looking at Hades, you can only break the system so much, whereas this has so much physics going on. The game will naturally kind of break itself. Like it's all these, you're gonna get hit from an angle you didn't think of. Physics just throws everything out the window.
Gotcha.
And then one last game, which we talked about, and I played for a whole 5 minutes before the stream. Proteus.
Oh, did you play that? Nice.
Yeah, I got home because I got home late. I got home, I downloaded it and started it up, and these graphics are fucking gorgeous.
Yes.
I do wish I had a card that could run, so this can do screen space, ambient occlusion, which I should be able to do, especially with these graphics. But it also has screen space
reflections.
Reflections.
That's the only one I know of that. I can remember that term, but
yeah. So 2 of those combined is going to make the game look gorgeous. I think it may be doing that in this video right here.
sure.
But yeah, this game's fun. It definitely feels like somebody kind of combined Doom 2016 with Brutal Doom.
Right. I think you mentioned that last time. Yeah, because it is very much like a retro kind of experience, but still
Whoa,
updated
that
and
fucking
beautiful.
sky though.
Yeah. So I got to play the beta, but it wasn't this kind of single player content. So this
Mhm.
is new to me. Yeah, this game is crazy nuts. I love how brutal it is, just like the attacks, the way you're just demolishing people, and it's fucking fun too. Like they really got the heart of a Doom and follow that idea. And yeah, I love it. And the retro aspect of everything too, but it still looks nuts with the lighting. Man, they nailed it.
This is something it's hard to tell just looking at the video footage, but when you punch, so you can just push one button and you'll punch kind of slowly, but if you alternate, you'll punch faster.
That's what I started to figure out. Yeah, towards the end, it's like, oh, I think I can kind of control these a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the gunplay is nuts. And there's like a level editor too included in the main one. And yeah, I'm sure people are gonna love this game, and I cannot wait to see the reception it gets too. I'm hoping it blows up more because it has been on people's radar, at least like on Twitter. But I'm hoping it really does blow up because this is awesome.
Yeah, absolutely.
Nice. Yeah, I haven't bought the full game. I need to do that.
I want to play with there's a bunch of settings. There's one like with overlay setting, which I can't figure out what the fuck any of those overlays do.
Oh, like to make it look maybe like a CRT or that kind of thing?
Yeah.
Or gotcha.
I messed with the slider bar. I tried L3 settings. It didn't do anything. The other thing I need to play with is it's 3D models, and by default it's off.
Oh, okay.
Or sprite bait models, and by default it's on.
Is it because your card maybe just is like hitting a point where it can't?
No, like all these are like traditional style, like Doom.
Oh, sure. I see.
So do they have 3D models as well?
I don't know.
Did they just use those for hit register? I'd be really curious to see. Can I just literally make this game look more like Quake?
Possibly, maybe. Write them a letter, Gavin, and get to it.
Yeah.
See what they say.
That's a lot of time talking about what I've been playing. What have you been playing, Fonzie?
Not a whole lot, although I did get the bug again to play Ghost of Tsushima. So I've been jumping into that, and I can't believe I slept on this game for so long because I bought it at launch and I was stoked for it, but then I just kind of stopped playing, and for whatever reason, it wasn't keeping me engaged. But I jumped back in, and it's so fun. I was just like I think lately I'm in an RPG mood, and so this is definitely super RPG.
It is?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
With the quests and the options you can do, it's really cool. Maybe not the most like customizable or whatever, but the grind and the loop, the gameplay loop is super fun, and it's just maybe the most gorgeous game I've ever played. It's up there, probably beats The Last of Us with just like what you can experience in the different areas, and the gameplay is really cool. I think I'm playing on like super baby mode just so I can have fun. With the sword fights, but even then it's still engaging because you have different enemies where you can't just hack and slash. You have to kind of change your fight styles. You unlock fight styles. You have to change them based on it's somebody with a spear or somebody with a sword or it's the brute big guys, and it's so there's a lot of stuff keeping you on your toes still, but it's definitely still more arcadey though on the other end of that. But yeah, super fun, and I'm kind of trying to stop myself from gorging on it right now because there is a PS5 day one mode that unlocks the frame rate, so it's 60 frames per second, and then like true 4K. So I'm kind of slowly going at it so I can switch over this Thursday and play it with all the things turned up, and yeah, cannot wait.
I'd be curious to see if they can turn up like the wind and the foliage floating around even higher. Not that I think you need to. Like this is all you need as far as stuff on the ground.
Or the wind's just like blowing them away or something. Or?
Yeah, you don't need any more than this. But you could have more than that.
You could. That's the thing. I think it's possible because the game itself is like 30 gigs. It's really nothing crazy, and the load times are already nuts on PS4 and PS4 Pro. So I can't imagine, but it's not like optimized for PS5. It's just they have these various unlocks that they'll just kind of like within the game let you increase the frame rate and stuff. It's not a full blown remaster or like next gen version, but yeah, even then. But yeah, really just playing this, and it's clicking with me where I'm into it. Loving it.
I like how good the materials, like their clothing, is actually.
Oh yeah.
You don't see that. I don't feel like you see that a whole lot. The wind is such a big feature in this game. They really knocked it out of the park.
I think with the high level of detail, the only other game I can think of is with Last of Us 2. There's almost like way too much detail if that's really like an actual complaint. But you'll go into these rooms in Last of Us 2, and the cloth count on the bed sheets is insane. But it's like I'm only going to look at this for a second and keep moving. but just that level of detail alone is nuts. And so that's the same kind of thing in this game where just the materials on their clothing is super high resolution, and yeah, it's awesome. So I can't wait to see what they do with PS5 hardware too with Sucker Punch.
Right. Well, and speaking of, it's sort of like looking at, that's one of the biggest compliments I've heard towards the new Spider-Man game.
Right.
Those fucking materials, this big open world that just doesn't fucking quit.
Yeah. Yeah. So this is another one. I think as far as like legit PS5 games, this is going to be the one that I get day one because it just looks insane. People are loving it. I don't have the Metacritic pulled up, but I want to say last time I checked it was around an 85. So it's solid as far as, and you're also coming after the original Spider-Man, which already had huge accolades and praises, and so I feel like they hit it out of the park again. But
go ahead.
Well, as I say, they hit it out of the park. It's like they added features. It's different gameplay with as you play with Miles. He has different powers, but you're still in New York, so I think they had a lot that they can kind of carry over and use. And the mechanics are basically the same, I think. But no, still looks awesome. But yeah, cannot wait to play that. Yes, this is one that's really showing off the power of the PS5. I don't think I'll do if you buy the full-blown Ultimate Edition, it comes with the PS4 remaster of Spider-Man. But I've just played the crap out of that game where I don't think I'm going to jump back into it, even though it's 4K or they have ray tracing enabled and 60 frames per second. I think I'm just going to jump in the mouse.
This combat looks crazy. Like the lightning, I mean, I really didn't play... I played a whole 5 minutes.
I think you swung around when I had it.
Yeah, I mainly just swung around. I don't think I even fought. But God, the gameplay looks so cool in the way they're using the lightning powers.
Oh yeah, the way you're juggling enemies, like that was my favorite thing to do in that game because just the way they almost don't want you to stand still. So you're jumping around, you're swinging, you're almost pulling combos with the gameplay, with the combat rather. It's really cool. And the last game Insomniac did was for Xbox. Actually, it was
Infamous Second Son.
No, so that's Sucker Punch. This was that one crazy launch game.
Rocksteady?
No, those are your listening developers. It's the game I'm thinking of.
What?
It's Sunset Overdrive. There we go. So that was the last game they did, and it was
I don't think that's right.
Okay. It was the same kind of idea where you're not really. They don't really want you to stand still. You're grinding, you're jumping around, you're doing all this crazy stuff, and they really have movement as the focus. I don't think this game got a lot of praise. It was a launch Xbox One game, but it was dope. Yeah, I don't think there's anything they did in between.
I don't think that's the same developer.
Okay, we can pull it up, Gavin. If I can flex on you.
I might be wrong. I definitely might be wrong. So Sunset Overdrive developer.
Yeah, and we're looking at Insomniac. Yeah, I mean that was the 2014, and then we got 2018 with Spider-Man, the original one.
Oh, I know what I'm thinking of. I'm thinking of... So I am wrong, but I was thinking of the developers that did Ghost of Tsushima.
Okay, so that's Sucker Punch, yeah, and they did do Infamous Second Son and ones, yeah.
All right.
You haven't challenged my PlayStation knowledge again. I dare you to.
I will continue. I will happily challenge knowledge.
You always do. Even like you second guess your own memories. Like you think of things that I love that I never played or loved or experienced.
Oh, that's I won't challenge that. That's just me being wrong. I'll happily be wrong.
Well, until you're proven wrong, you always claim that you're right no matter what.
Yeah, and that's why you challenge it. You put money on it or something.
That's true. You know what? Damn, I should have put some or pizza or something.
Yeah, gotta.
Well, Gavin, we played some stuff. We got a bunch of news. We can jump into the news. We got Disney Plus comes to Xbox Game Pass Ultimate Perks today. So this is
what?
Yeah, this is a pretty big one that they got pulled out of their ass at the last second. It's pretty dope. So this is from the Xbox official blog post. Today we're announcing the newest perk for our Ultimate members, 30 days of Disney Plus. Starting today, Ultimate members will be able to stream all of the great entertainment available with Disney Plus. Ultimate members who are new to Disney Plus will be eligible to claim the 30-day subscription trial through the perks gallery on their Xbox console. Disney Plus is also available on Xbox One, yada yada, Xbox Series X and S, so you can download the app via the Microsoft Store. Yeah, so it's not included in Game Pass, but they get a free 30-day trial. But then really you can access this from your Xbox now, but you get 30 days for free. It's pretty
I mean, it'd be more weird if you couldn't access Disney Plus and like Hulu and Netflix.
True.
So I guess it's just being normal at that point.
Although if they could bundle it as far as like you pay for Game Pass and you just get Disney Plus as a part of it, that would be super duper insane.
Gunk was.
Yeah, there's a ton of games. And then we were talking about before the stream that that's not the right thing. Got my fan fiction on the wrong screen, but yeah. So they dropped the EA Play. So all the EA Play games, which is like their entire category or catalog rather, is on Game Pass right now, and there's a ton of fucking games.
Bro, we should play Army of Two.
I'm down. And they got the that's the one game you always bring up, Battlefield Bad Company. Is one better than two? They have just the sequel, looks like, but they have the other ones.
They're unique in their own right. I would say the gameplay of two is way better. Gotcha. I think the story of both is great. Bad Company 2 is just more serious.
Gotcha.
One was really a comedy. Two is somewhat funny.
I see.
But I'd still I'm sure they visually look fantastic to this day.
Yeah, and the crazy like physics we talked about before is like it still holds up. Yeah, you got all the Crysis games, you have all the Dead Space games, which is nuts. You have Burnout Paradise Remastered. So they have newer stuff too, like the newer Star Wars game as well. So Battlefront is on there. No, wait, I'm thinking of the single player one they came out with. I'm surprised that's not on there, but maybe it's too recent. There was that last holiday. There was a Star Wars with the single player. There's that one dude that's like a new character. With a lightsaber.
Not nice. I'm trying to think of Jedi something.
Fallen Order.
There we go.
Yes. So I'm surprised that's not on there, but it's a newer game maybe. But
I think with this EA Pass, they're not necessarily giving away. It's not like Game Pass where you're getting the brand new stuff day one.
True. Yeah. But a year out, stuff. I feel like they should offer something like that. But you know, the Titanfalls, you got Unravel, UFC. I've never played those games. Maybe I'll give them a shot on this service. But yeah, I mean, they dropped a bunch of games. All the Mass Effects, and we're getting ready for the remaster too. Right. Andromeda. I've never tried Andromeda. It's on there. Yeah.
Make people's faces do all sorts of fucky things in that one.
But yeah, that's great news for Game Pass. I mean, it's just getting better and better.
Bejeweled, motherfucker.
Right. They could have stopped there. You already got Bejeweled. We got our next one here, Gavin. Sony confirms PlayStation 5 remote play is coming to PlayStation 4. So Brianna Reeves of PlayStationLifestyle.net has the article. It's pretty dope. So in a surprise move by Sony, a PlayStation 5 remote play app popped up on the PS4 this morning. Not everyone can access it though. Reportedly, the app's download will only go through for those with Japanese accounts. This still seems an interesting turn of events, however, since it means PS4 players will be able to remotely access their PS5 content from another location. Sony has since confirmed the feature itself in a FAQ post on the PS blog. Yeah, that's dope. I mean, so it lets you access your PS5 from your PS4. So I guess the benefit would be maybe if you have the PS4 set up in a different room, you can stream that from like your living room and play something different.
But, so I gotta have my PS5 running.
I think they both will have to run. But yeah, so it's using that like streaming through Wi-Fi, because you can do that with your PS4 on like your computer and stuff. So now they're bringing that playing your PS5 games on your PS4. Probably not the best way to play it because it's going to be streaming. It's going to be dependent on your Wi-Fi, and the whole thing with PS5 is now is like 4K and great frame rate. So you're not going to get that same fidelity, but you can do it.
Honestly, it should be fine. Steam has had this for a while, and it works really good to the point where when my buddy told me we were using it, my mind was blown. Like we were playing not Rocket League, some sort of fighting game that's insanely fast and needs very precise inputs, and you couldn't tell.
Okay.
So across house streaming, really not that bad.
That's true. It's on your own Wi-Fi. It's not like, across your data connection or whatever on your phone. Yeah. So that's a cool little feature they just added.
Yeah. Pretty cool. Now, can I stream it on my, like, what other devices can we stream this to now?
So there is more in there. Yeah. So let's see. Their actual quote, we're updating PS4's remote play feature. Now, in addition to being able to access your PS4 from a PC or a mobile device, your PS4 can access other consoles via remote play too. So this includes the ability to connect your PS5 and stream a PS5 game to your PS4. You can play it there. There's no news, at least in the little blurb yet, on streaming it to your PC. That'd be awesome. And I can't imagine why.
So it sounds like you used to be able to do that. And
we can do that with your PS4, and I guess it's just a feature that they can unlock in the future where you can do it on your PS5 to your PC to your phone. But yeah, that stuff exists now with PS4 rather. There's some other news about the PlayStation. We got Sony considered pricing PS5 games even higher than $70, report claims. This is a Video Games Chronicle. Tom Ivan has the report. Sony reportedly discussed pricing PlayStation 5 games higher than $70. That's according to a new Bloomberg article focused on rising next-gen software prices. Earlier this year, Take-Two's NBA 2K21 became the first next-gen game to price at $70. Other publishers have since followed suit, including Activision with Call of Duty, Sony with selected first-party titles, including Demon's Souls. Sony spokesperson said PS5 first-party games, launch games start at $50. The $70 price tag is currently reserved for the biggest titles in a strategy reflective of the growing development resources needed for these ambitious games. How do you feel about higher than $70? We talk about that every once in a while. I think there's some games that can demand it. Say like a Cyberpunk or a Red Dead, Call of Duty. With the amount of time you're going to be playing that game, there are some games that can demand a higher price tag. But I guess they were looking into higher than $70.
I agree, but mostly just because I'm fine with it, but I hate microtransactions so much. So right. I would rather pop in an extra $10-$20 and not pay for microtransactions.
I agree. And there's kind of something has to give with these development costs going, skyrocketing. We don't see a lot of it behind the scenes, but these games are getting more expensive to make. The teams are getting bigger.
Keep punching your mic. I'm sorry. I'm trying to cross my arms, but the mic's not having it.
It's hard to be natural again.
Where do I put my hands?
But yeah,
fine.
Sure, yeah. Keep them up there. Higher if you can.
Can we talk about how that mascot just now looked amazing?
That's the thing. There's a lot of praise for this newer 2K21. The graphics are pretty nuts, and I'm waiting for like a Digital Foundry to do their breakdown. But yeah, this is one that kind of gets forgotten about because it actually looks super duper insane. We're looking at footage now. Yeah, it looks really good.
The audience reactions look fantastic.
Yeah, I guess they can do higher resolution models now, or higher resolution models.
Well, I feel like for me, it's just like the animations back there that's really selling it. Like it doesn't look like you look in these shots and I'm not seeing like 5 people doing the same animations. Sure. Like I can't even tell if 2 people are doing, maybe they're doing some offsetting, they're doing something else to make it look more natural, but that looks great.
Yeah.
It is. My Dumbo ears.
Yeah. It's kind of strange to see them in a crowd, like an actual audience, the more I think about it, because the NBA just finished their season and there was nobody in attendance. Right. It's just kind of strange to have this alternate reality where people are there, no mask or anything. But yeah, I mean, this game's getting praise for the graphics. This is one of the first ones that announced they're going $70 for the next one. Although they still have microtransactions in it, so they kind of had some negative stuff on that. But yeah, I think it's fair for certain games that they can demand that price tag, but it just has to be. It's a careful like walk you got to make where it's got to be the games that deserve, or that they can afford to demand that price. Like it's like Cyberpunk could definitely be $70 or more than $70.
Is this game already out on current gen?
I want to say it is.
So is this the game that snuck in ads?
I think so. Yeah, there was a couple weeks ago they were still doing the commercials basically in the game. Yeah, I think there's a lot of this one is really a cash grab every year where they just kind of put in enough stuff, maybe bring one thing back or out of it just to slightly annoy people less, but they just jam pack it with ads and microtransactions. Yeah, no bueno. So again, we got some bummer news on the PS5. Sadly, you can't store PS5 games on an external SSD. This is what we thought maybe was possible. Apparently at launch, it's not. This is Sammy Barker of PushSquare.com. As our PlayStation 5 review outlined earlier in the day, there's currently no way to store next-gen games on an external hard drive. While we've always known that you'll need to use the SSD to boot up PS5 titles, many had hoped that you'd be able to move games across to a separate storage unit should you need to save space. At the time of writing, that's not the case. While you can move PlayStation 4 games backwards and forwards between the SSD and an external hard drive, the same option does not apply to next-gen software. Just this morning, Sony posted on the PS blog that they're looking into storing PS5 games on an external hard drive. There's also no software support at launch for an additional SSD storage. So they have that little SSD expansion. Geez. Yeah, so they still are kind of dragging their feet with that. But it's a bummer because we kind of, what we talked about, we theorized in the past couple weeks, okay, as the news comes out that the SSD that's baked in there to the motherboard, it's kind of dwindling in the usable hard drive space. I think it's down to like 600 and something gigabytes now. So like that's okay, but knowing that I can like move stuff back and forth, like, oh, surely I can plug in my external and do that. But apparently at launch, you cannot do that.
That's very surprising. And that's definitely something people are going to be relying on with the Xbox, especially with the Series X. You're going to be juggling which game you have on your hard drive. You may only have 1 or 2 games on your SSD at a time, but transferring between a regular hard drive and an SSD is it's going to be nothing. So I'd be very curious as to why that's an issue right now. It's good that you have PS4 in there. I imagine it won't. I'd like to think it won't take that long for them to get this feature built in. That being said, they have disabled transfer of PT or something like that. You can't play PT. Is that in your stories today?
It is. Yeah, I think it's my next one here. If not, I will scoot to it. Yeah,
there we go.
So PS5 reportedly, I butchered that. PT reportedly has PS5 backwards compatibility removed by Konami before release. So this is Joe Screbbles of IGN. After hope for backwards compatibility, PT appears to not work on PS5 through any means, but strangely it seems that hasn't always been the case, with Konami reportedly removing compatibility ahead of the new console's launch. As reported by Polygon, the now iconic horror game teaser for Silent Hills was seemingly playable on PS5 using a file transfer in October. However, after an update, the game no longer can be played on the new console, something IGN Japan has confirmed. Polygon reports when contacted for comment, Sony said the change was a publisher decision, meaning Konami would have specifically blocked the game from being played on new hardware and effectively making it even harder for the game to be preserved after it was made non-downloadable on the PlayStation Store. How do you feel about this game?
This is petty. Really petty.
Yeah, the more I think about it, so there's always been rumblings in the background that Konami is still working on some kind of Silent Hills reboot, and that maybe it still has legs, but the fact that they do this, they removed it from the store. It's either one or two things. Either they are working on some kind of Silent Hill thing, but they want to remove it so much from this version with Kojima tied to it, because they're still very sour about that Fallout, that they want to distance themselves away from this as much as possible and work on their new one, or they have no plans to reboot this at all, and they're just counting the money from their pachinko machines, and are just going to do that forever. But it's one of the two things. It doesn't look good for any kind of Silent Hills, reiteration or reboot. It sucks because Konami's sitting on such a gold mine. You got Metal Gear, you got Silent Hill. I mean, I'm sure there's other ones that I'm blanking on, and they're just
Contra.
They're sure Contra.
Not gonna make a comeback.
Yeah, maybe not. But they're sitting on these things where they could, if you want money, this is how you make money. At least a remaster, put this off to another dev, and just let people play these games. I don't understand their idea behind all this.
Yeah.
Is it just pettiness, or they just not interested at all in the gaming space anymore?
Go with pettiness.
Even
Show
then,
me pettiness.
But money talks, and you're just sitting on a gold mine. I was gonna say landmine. Sitting on a gold mine.
Yes, the thing we all want to sit on.
So it sucks, and this is another. Yeah, this is a bummer for. I'm not gonna play it because we tried almost a year ago, more than a year ago.
I was so pissed off by those puzzles. Even with a walkthrough, we were struggling.
Yeah, we hit the wrong, routes. You have to do something special to keep playing the game. But we couldn't even find a death. We were just stuck in that hallway.
Yeah, it felt like we were stuck, and it's like stare at this one piece of wall, and you'll see a thing. And I, even watching the video and then doing it, I couldn't see the thing.
Right.
So I didn't know if we were bugged.
It might have been a
bug. What was going on? That was.
Yeah, I still have this on my PS4, and I'll never delete it. But I'm not going to play it at the same time. So it's just a bummer that this doesn't carry over. But we do got some news on another game that isn't being Left 4 Dead. This is Mass Effect Legendary Edition brings back original trilogy in 2021. Turn down the volume off of that. We got Electronic Arts and BioWare have officially confirmed a Mass Effect Trilogy release. This comes from GameSpot Gabe Gerwin. For consoles and PC, the announcement was made as part of its N7-day celebration, and it comes after months of reports and rumors about the collection. The collection bundles together Mass Effect 2, and Mass Effect 3, which originally released between 2007 and 2012. The original Mass Effect released as an Xbox 360 exclusive before eventually coming to PlayStation 3 several years later. So it has better resolution, frame rate, overhauled textures and characters, shaders, and effects. So BioWare also announced they're hard at work in the early stages of a new Mass Effect game as well as a part of this.
Ooh. Yeah. That's just so much to remake. I don't know how hard they're going to go in redoing the models and a lot of the stuff, but that...
Because you have 3 games, hundreds of hours of, stuff that you have to kind of go through. But that's great. I mean, we mentioned Konami. This is EA at least not letting this thing die and bringing it back to life and kind of drumming up some more support, because I know Andromeda did not hit those same highs and was kind of critically panned. So it's good to go back to this and to give people a reason another reason why they love Mass Effect and get up some more, drum up some hype for the next Mass Effect.
I'll play it. I'll honestly play it. Even though I've tried Mass Effect many times and never liked it, I will yet again throw my money at it and try and enjoy it.
And you get all three, and I think all the DLC and other stuff is included in this, if I'm not mistaken. So it's the entire package.
You'd hope so.
Love to see it, Gab.
You'll love to see it.
So now here's something we don't love to see. This was reported the other day. So we got Square Enix reports $448 million loss following release of the underperforming Marvel's Avengers. We got Jonathan Bolding of PCGamer.com. Driven by weak sales of Marvel's Avengers, Square Enix has posted an operating loss in its HD game segment of more than 5 billion yen, or $48 million. The second quarter of the current financial year. This information comes from the latest release of financial results. So I'm going to skip over that boring part. The live service game developed by Crystal Dynamics was heavily advertised and expensively produced, but was panned by both critics and the broader gaming audience. It's the second high-profile failure of a live service game in as many years, following BioWare's Anthem in 2019. Mentioned.
Does that same dev?
No. So just the next, one of the latest high-profile failures as far as like a live service.
Thank God.
Yeah. But so that's a big loss. What can they, or what should they do you reckon? Do they keep putting out DLC? Do they overhaul it? Do they just leave this franchise or not attempt to keep going at it?
I don't know that they can make that money.
But that's a nut. If you crack it, you have potentially a lot of money to be made. So I can't imagine they're going to leave it alone. They might have made some kind of deal for X amount of games too with Marvel. So I don't know the route to take, but it could be, I don't know if it's as bad as Anthem, that same kind of situation, but they just need to kind of overhaul stuff and improve it.
That's the thing with Anthem. Like when you're playing Anthem, you're just like, it's almost that like it definitely needed a lot of work, but you could see something there.
Yeah.
You could see that spark, even more so than like the first time you played No Man's Sky and you're like, all right, there's no spark here.
Yeah.
Fuck this. I mean, I don't know. I haven't played this myself, so I can't say. I've heard, everyone's going to have their own opinion, but a lot of people are saying it almost would have been better if they just made a single player game.
That's what I would have loved. This would have been one of my games to play if it was single player. I just have no interest in these live service experiences. Right. And just like Insomniac did with Spider-Man, like that was a way to go. But I think they're committed to this kind of service, so I imagine they're going to do another one. They have the license still and try and make some of this money back. But they did push back the next-gen releases to 2021. So the PS5 and Xbox Series X or upgrades for next-gen, they pushed that back to work on it. Hopefully to work out bugs and stuff.
Just that much prettier? Because it is a looker.
It is, for sure. Yeah. Yeah, there's no really, complaints there. It's just what the gameplay. I think there are some bugs still and just the grind afterwards too. But I know people really love the storyline. So, sure. And the new characters are the not newer characters, but there was Miss Marvel. They brought her, and it's the first time she's been in a game, and apparently they did a really good job with that. But yeah, we'll see if they can pull a No Man's Sky, as it's the popular term. But Gavin, there's another little bit of news. We got Blood Rain. Do you ever play the Blood Rain games?
Boy, did I just not.
I loved them. So this was on my radar. So this is Blood Rain 1 and 2 are getting PC remasters in November 2020. Adam Bankhurst of IGN has the article. Ziggurat Interactive has announced that enhanced versions of both Blood Rain and Blood Rain 2 will be released on Steam and GOG on November 20th. These games will receive support for higher display resolutions, up to 4K, blah, 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 upscaled cinematic video, support for modern gamepads, improved rendering with up to 4 times the anti-aliasing. I don't know what that is, sounds scary. But so you never...
Anti-aliasing? Just make it so the edges look a little bit better.
Okay, they should call it that then. I love these games personally. The second one especially. It's just like Blade and the Matrix mixed together. Right. So you're this vampire lady and you kick ass. You dismember people. There's like bullet time mode stuff going on. You have to drink their blood, as we're watching in the trailer. They almost like mimic the Blade scene where you're in a club too in this level that we have here. Mm-hmm. But yeah, these games were dope. They were just fun, arcadey kind of beat 'em ups. But I loved them. She would grind on rails for some reason, as like a way to traverse.
That was like a lot of games, especially after Sonic.
Yeah. And Tony Hawk's Pro Skater for sure too, but it's like, hey, how can we get grinding in here? Right. But yeah, no, I thought it was a super fun game, and they're bringing it back, so I can't wait to play this on PC. Fully rezzed. This is one of the weird games that had the like over the top boob physics that was just kind of like, what? Why?
But were they independent?
I don't know. I have to do some more research.
Were they actually boob physics, or were they?
The boobs are moving. They're moving a lot, so they had boob movement abilities.
They weren't just animations.
I don't think so, because every time you just like if you sneeze or if you move your foot, your boobs would just shake for some reason. But they had that. That was one of the things of that era.
Trying to find a game. I think I was wrong. I thought there was a multiplayer game set in the Blood Rain universe.
You know what? You're thinking of, so there's that Vampire series. They
I don't
announced.
think it was that either.
Okay. Because they announced a Battle Royale thing recently.
Oh, yeah.
Like somebody's wrong again, Gavin.
Well, no, that's not what I meant. There was
Okay.
like it was a multiplayer. It was a multiplayer game. I want to say it was like 6-on-6 vampires versus vampire hunters, and like the vampire like models were all crazy and like all different classes. It was really fun, but it looks like it wasn't Blood Rain. But it was a dope fucking game, and I'd hope they'd bring that back and include it.
Oh, gotcha. This is something that they released already.
But apparently it's not Blood Rain universe, so maybe it's Legacy of Kain. It sounds like that's the same universe.
Okay.
So, or at least from what I glimpsed off of my phone just now.
Yeah, I'll pull it up if you think of a name that I can pull it up.
I'm never gonna come up with that name.
Nope. You barely remember my name, Kevin.
I bet that vampire or that vampire game that's coming out before too long.
Oh God, you're right, and I'm blanking on the name, but there is some kind of newer
Vampire Bloodlines.
It's possible,
something like that.
Is it that same Vampire? If that's how you say it.
It could be.
You're the Masquerade.
Oh, yeah, Vampire.
Gotcha. But I think there is some kind of newer vampire game coming. You're right.
Same name, Vampire. But I mean, that series is so old that.
Right. I think they keep making new entries.
And you can have a game about a skeleton. Call it Skeleton.
There you go. We call it anti-aliasing and just call it, making the edges better.
What are we gonna call this guy? He's a guy and he puts down bombs. We're gonna call it Bomber Guy.
Yeah, but we got Assassin's Creed Valhalla. A bunch of the reviews came out and it's super positive.
Make them ladies Valhalla.
Oh yeah, Gavin, if I can find footage here, we go over the actual impressions that we found online. So this is from Metacritic. Overall, it has an 85. PC Gamer gave it a 92. Bloody and captivating, Valhalla is Assassin's Creed at its best. IGN has it at an 8 out of 10. Assassin's Creed Valhalla is a massive, beautiful open world fueled by brutal living and the dirty work of conquerors. It's a lot buggier than it should be, but also impressive on multiple levels. GameSpot also gave it an 8 out of 10. Despite its strong connection to past games, Assassin's Creed Valhalla is more than capable of standing on its own. It takes a little while to build momentum, but when it hits its stride, Valhalla is a confident Assassin's Creed title that takes a few narrative risks, which as a whole pay off. This one is more and more on my radar. It looks really good. I'm in that RPG mode, so I think I do want to try this.
Go for it. The one kind of complaint I've heard, besides those bugs, and it's crazy to me that it sounds like this game, which is ambitious, but not as ambitious as Watch Dogs Legion. And Watch Dogs Legion, I've been told, is less buggy than this.
Whoa, okay.
So that's pretty impressive to the Watch Dogs Legion team. I feel like mounting an axe behind your head like that is a terrible plan. That's just gonna.
Yeah, I'm sure it's super sharp.
Right. But yeah, I hear the gameplay. Some people like the fighting and other people don't. So that would kind of suck to buy this, pay full price, only to find out you don't like that combat, because that's such a big part of this.
Sure. I know they have made changes to this one compared to the last Assassin's Creed. So the combat might be one of them. It still looks really good. I didn't really play. I did play the last couple of Assassin's Creeds, but not for very long. So I'm just not sure at the end of the day if I want to pay full price. But this is on my radar. Maybe when there's a deal in a couple months here. But it looks beautiful, and I just like this. I think this area, this time in history, calls out to me a little bit more than say we did the Greek mythology and then before that Egypt area.
I can see that.
But yeah, and this is run on PC and it looks fucking awesome. But yeah, I think there are some concerns. You mentioned the bugginess. Although with Assassin's Creed, it seems like you're going to get your standard bugs. But at least the last two had a lot of critical praise. Like it seems like they had put the bugs to a minimum. Hopefully it's not the same situation.
Yeah. And this town is so visually, like, there's so much going on. It's really getting to that point. And I definitely said this with Ghost of Tsushima, where it's no longer I look at video games, or like I'm out in the real world, like when you just stop and admire like the prettiness of the world around you, like you're starting to be able to do that in games now, which is
Oh yeah. Yeah, like there's no cutscenes are better than gameplay. It's just like fluid. It's all the same.
yeah.
But yeah, I'm hoping maybe some updates fix the bugs if they're that bad. But I'm interested. Don't got me 100% yet, but I'm interested. We got that. Got some good praise for Assassin's Creed Valhalla. Gavin, this came over the news cycle the past week. GameStop cancels employee contest to earn extra Black Friday work hours.
What does that mean? Extra? You get to earn your Black Friday?
Exactly. So this is Wesley LeBlanc of IGN. GameStop has reportedly canceled a company-wide contest that asked employees to perform a synchronized TikTok dance in exchange for prizes like extra work hours on Black Friday. Originally reported by TheGamer.com, news broke on November 3rd that GameStop had announced a TikTok competition across its stores that asked employees with performing a synchronized dance with their coworkers in exchange for a prize. The prizes included an Amazon Echo 8, an Amazon Echo Auto, which is that a car? I'm not sure what that is. A $100 Visa gift card, and 10 extra work hours on Black Friday. The announcement was originally posted on GameStop's conference portal, but has since been removed, as discovered by TheGamer.com, likely due to the backlash the competition received. The GameStop subreddit was quickly filled with dozens of posts about this competition, with one post in particular receiving over 100 comments, ranging from you to New Formula Low. So yeah, they were competing for the ability to get more hours on Black Friday.
They get paid extra on Black Friday?
It's possible, but knowing GameStop, I feel like they don't.
Yeah, I doubt it.
Right.
So
So there was like legit prizes, but I guess it could be they get the option of getting those extra work hours. Maybe it's more competitive and it's harder to get hours during Black Friday. I can't imagine so because it's like all hands on deck.
I wouldn't think so.
Right. So they were competing to get for the option to work more as one of the prizes at least. But they rolled
the most American thing I've ever fucking heard.
It's like some cyberpunk bullshit. It's like a Black Mirror episode or something. But yeah, and of course because of the backlash, which they should have expected, they rolled it back and canceled that option, or at least maybe just canceled the 10-hour work thing. But it's also weird and gross to make your employees dance for stuff.
Right.
It's kind of like
dance for your money, my monkeys.
Right. It's like is it Cold Stone Creamery still does that, where if you tip them $1 or anything, they have to sing to you? It's that kind of stuff that always it always grossed me out. It's just pay them, man. That's the last thing I want to do is because it's already in retail and like fast food or food service. You're already faking enthusiasm or happiness, so it's just another layer of bullshit.
I like my bullshit on top of my bullshit.
That's what they do at Cold Stone. They layer it in there with this warm ass ice cream. I never liked that it was like folded and melty when they were throwing like M&Ms and other bullshit in there. Yeah,
I've been to a Cold Stone Creamery once.
Yeah,
and
same.
I literally have no idea what you're talking about.
Okay, so they sort of like Subway, they make it in front of you where if you want to add toppings, they put your ice cream on a plate or on a table and they start to fold in. There's a great Aziz Ansari a bit about it, but they like fold in the whatever you want to throw in your ice cream, but it's just like melty, and then they scoop it into your cup, and it's not the ideal way to eat ice cream. If I could eat ice cream, I want to eat it in a freezer where it's just like rock hard, super frozen. I don't like melty ice cream at all. It just becomes soupy to me. But yeah, so that's their whole thing, is that they fold in stuff as you order it. It's like an assembly line where they throw stuff in there. But yeah, so if you ever been to a Cold Stone Creamery, that's what they do. I see. Well, I just explained what they do.
I'm gonna have to look up a video of this. Yeah,
they're just folding bullshit in there. Yeah,
folding bullshit.
Yeah. But yeah, Gavin, that's all I have for you, unless you wanted to throw something else in there.
I've been seeing some other reviews. Bug Snacks.
I
still don't know what this game is.
I wasn't sure. I didn't pull that up because I wasn't sure if that was on your radar, or if it was something you're interested in. But yeah, it's gotten pretty good reviews.
Yeah, I still don't know what the game is. I know that you can eat stuff and you become that thing.
It reminds me of Viva Pinata, that same kind of like heart or soul to it. So it has a 73 on Metacritic. And,
which is good, I want to say, on Metacritic.
I think so. That's like a C, if I remember being in school. So let's look at some actual gameplay here.
Yeah, there we go. Get some.
The first 31 minutes.
First person? No, it's third person.
I think
it is first person.
Yeah, that's a character, yeah.
But if I'm becoming food, why would I want it to be first person?
Well, I guess you make other things, eat other things, and they become food. But and there's missions, it looks like. I know this is on PS5.
fuck it, I'm still gonna play it.
It's gonna be one of the first PS5 PlayStation Plus games. So in what, January or something? I think it's gonna be free for PlayStation Plus. So pretty soon.
But
But
it's gonna come to PC though.
it's possible. I'm not sure. I think so. I don't think it's just first party. I think it's they just made a deal with Sony to get it there first. But I wonder if the strengths are the writing, because it looks super kooky and just like fun. So I think the writing's gonna be good, and then the wackiness of what you do as you convince people to eat things and then turn into that thing. But I like that the townspeople are on board and they don't mind turning into other stuff.
Right.
But it looks really fun and just like out there. You mentioned, or you played that one game a couple weeks ago where it was similar vein, where it's like a Katamari kind of like wackiness.
Oh, yeah.
So this just reminds you of that kind of like mantra, that idea of just being weird.
It's definitely, I mean, this developer has definitely carved out a style, because these are the same people that made Octodad.
Oh, yeah.
And I may just go into this game as blind as I can. This is
so.
already way different than what I was expecting. So yeah, I'm totally.
You got a shooting mechanic, and I didn't expect that either.
Like this, I mean, it's giving me, oddly enough, it's giving me like Pokemon Snap vibes. Like,
sure,
trying to figure out this weird ass puzzle.
It's like a crab hamburger that was walking around. Yeah, for the cuteness, for the weirdness alone, I think it's worth trying out. But I will, because yeah, it's gonna be on my radar when it comes to PlayStation Plus for free. They try that. Yeah, and you got the ray tracing and the 4K enabled in PS5. So
yeah. See what else we got? Dirt 5.
Yeah, that one had some issues, right? I think I had some like
Did it
just on some interesting like reviews about the gameplay. So I talked to Callum, who we do the PlayStation podcast with. He got to review it early. He's working with this online reviewing site, but he had a lot of issues with like the bugginess and stuff, and he was kind of negative on it. But yeah,
it's pretty looking, if nothing else.
It does look pretty.
I mean, to be fair, car games are gonna look pretty no matter what. So
it has 81 Metascore and Metacritic, so not awful. But yeah, I know. I'm sort of a fan of this series. I think I played a couple on Xbox, and they're pretty dope. This actually looks really beautiful.
Right.
But I'm not sure if he was playing before release, so I'm sure they fixed stuff in there's like a day one patch. So maybe it was an issue there, but yeah.
I don't know how much really gets patched out.
Very true.
Close.
Yep. But yeah, so it has a pretty strong Metacritic, so maybe not what I was thinking, or Callum just was angry at the world and put it on Dirt 5 and
is Dirt cross console? Is it on
I think
Xbox
so.
as well?
Yes.
So that's the thing. Like, how many of these are exclusives? We've got Spider-Man, which is a big get. I think Bug Snacks is
at least timed. Yeah, there.
Timed, yeah.
Demon Souls is exclusive for at least who knows, maybe a year at least.
But that's not a launch.
It is at launch.
It is at launch.
Yeah.
Oh.
So Demon Souls is at launch. Besides, you mentioned the big ones. It's really Spider-Man, Demon Souls. You got Bug Snacks, and I can't think of what else. I'm gonna look up launch. That's not exclusive. Because yeah, you have Valhalla, but that's a cross-platform. So not much beyond that.
Borderlands 3,
Astro's Playroom, which is baked, it comes with the console. And that one they're using to show off like all the cool different features on the DualSense. You got Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War. So yeah, really
is that really coming out that soon?
Oh yeah. Next week I want to say, or this week possibly, because it's on PS5. So it's super soon.
Let's get my PC built and
right. Now for which one? For Call of Duty?
I would love to play a modern Call of Duty, but I'm not going to do it on anything besides my PC.
Gotcha.
Godfall apparently, which
right. I think
we've
it's
seen so little, we should be concerned.
They have put out footage. I haven't watched it because it's just not on my radar, but they put out footage, so I'm not sure if it's bad footage or good footage, but it's out there. And beyond that, nothing very big that's exclusive. Yeah, you got some ports and stuff that's going to be cross-gen. And I know with Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War, there's like multiplayer exclusive stuff because they have that deal with PlayStation. But beyond that, yeah, it looks like...
Ooh, Pathless. That's coming out, I think, maybe on... It might be before release date. It's coming out damn soon. I'm excited. I'm going to wait for some reviews on it, though, because they've been showing so little on the Pathless. So very little. And it's got this rhythm combat system, which... if good, fucking dope. If bad, that's most of the game. So, but this is that one they showed off
really
at like
good.
a Game Awards like 3 years ago.
Oh, I think you're right.
And it looked a lot like Breath of the Wild. So this combat, you can't tell because you're not playing it, but like it's rhythm based.
Gotcha.
Yeah, you can float on your thing, and it's this giant open world. So
that's really cool. It's almost like mixing Res with like a Zelda or something, where it seems like you can move in whatever direction, but it has to be to the beat.
We get speed boosts.
Gotcha.
If you do stuff, so that has to feel good, I imagine. That would have been fun in Zelda if you could get speed boosts by doing stuff like this. So maybe it just makes navigation that much more fun. I'm down with that, but just this, like, woo.
Yeah, the game looks gorgeous too, so maybe it's not very much. Pick it up.
Yeah, I'll pick it up on.
Nice, Gavin. That's it. We got about an hour there. We can end it. Where can they find you online?
You can find me on Twitter at DrunkDevs.
Up with the show as well on Twitter at PlasticCardPod. That's it for us this week. We'll see you guys next week. Bye-bye.